Welcome to the second episode of the Sean and Gabe Show. I'm your host, Gabe Lewis.
I'm Sean Davis.
And with us today, the very interesting Dylan Vandyke. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Good to have you, Dylan.
Yeah, you're welcome. You owe us.
I figured.
So, let's just get right down to it.
Why did you want to be on this show, Dylan?
I don't know. I think you guys are a group of interesting guys, and I thought I could contribute.
I wanted you on the show because, I'm going to be honest, I've known you since like 4th grade, and we never sat down and just talked.
No, and that's what Gabe was mentioning to me earlier. He was telling me, he was like, I'd love to have you on the podcast, but like I've never actually sat down and had a conversation with you to know what you're actually like. So
yeah, that's why me and you wanted to start it, because there's so many people we want to talk to.
Yeah. Well, the thing is with Dylan specifically, like I see you at school, and you're just kind of a guy that I just see, talk to, and that's about it. And that's all I've ever really thought you would be. Never really thought about sitting down and actually having a chat with you before, and that really happened.
that's all I am to you, is just a guy that just talks.
I mean, that's how a lot of people are. They're just NPC energy, you know? I just see people and I just forget about them.
just bots.
I just have a experience with them, an interaction, whatever, and I just leave it at that and it's over.
And if this doesn't go well, it's going to stay like that.
Yeah.
Well, no pressure. No pressure. Yeah. Just if it doesn't go well, it's my fault. So just saying that now.
Well, whatever we can do to keep the editing to a minimum is great.
Yeah.
You ever thought about pursuing any musical careers, Dylan?
That was something I thought about like really early on when I was into music, but like the farther I got into it, I realized that I'm just more into enjoying it. I'm just more into enjoying what other people produce more than trying to put something else out there.
Yeah.
I get that.
Like with me, I want to make movies, but I don't watch that much movies. I just think it'd be cool to make a story, make it like a 2-hour film, and let people enjoy it. Or
That'd be
hate
pretty
it.
dope.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing is there's so much pressure for people to enjoy the things you produce, and it doesn't have to be like that. I mean, you can just throw it out there and just see what the general public likes, because if they don't like it, they don't like it. If they like it, they like it. Fuck it. It doesn't matter.
That's how this podcast is. We're just doing this for the fun of it, really.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it
That's
seems
relevant.
like every time we mention it, it's like people think we want to get famous or we're doing it to be cooler, and it's like, no, we just want to do it.
right.
I'm not spending like $300.
Yeah, we're just coming out here doing a fun thing to have fun. That's all it is, man.
Right.
And it's pretty nice. Dude, same with the music and shit that me and the boys do. Like we did with the picnic. We come out there, just bring the band, play. That's just all for fun. I don't care about fame. I'm just going out there to play because it's fun.
Right. There's no pressure on you to succeed when you're
Exactly.
and that's the material that people are looking for, is the genre where people are just enjoying what they're doing, and like other humans watching other humans enjoy things that they're doing. That's just psychologically, that just makes more sense.
Right. Agreed.
We're not sellouts.
Right.
Exactly.
That brings us to our first sponsor of the episode.
Kraft macaroni and cheese.
That shit's good.
No, we don't have any sponsors.
We wish.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
You know what? I said I don't want to get political, but the impeachment hearing started today. And what do you guys think about impeachment in general? About any political figure?
it has to be reasonable. And at the moment, it doesn't seem very reasonable.
To me, I don't really care. Because then the next guy, if he does, he's just going to step in and
Yeah.
it won't affect me directly.
But here's the thing. It was put there for a reason. The impeachment process, the ability
Right.
to do it.
Well, obviously.
So, what was that reason?
So, I mean, obviously, some people think there is a problem, and I mean, if there enough people think there is a problem, then I guess one just appears, and you kind of form your own problem off other people's opinions, and you join together with other people, and you just kind of majority rule it instead of
Right.
actually having valid points.
Right. It seems more and more like that's happening. Like, individuals don't have as many valid points to them. They just group with the people that have valid points to feel like they have accomplished something.
Exactly.
And that's an issue in America, I feel, today, is individualism is disappearing.
Vanished.
Yeah, and that's a reason why it started. Because people didn't want the government involved. They wanted to be their own person.
Exactly.
We didn't want to get involved in World War II individualism, but we did anyway because we had to.
Right, because when you're attacked like that as a country, the patriotism, especially back then with coming out of the Depression, was so powerful in doing that.
Well, and I also think, like, this may be irrelevant, but the United States just kind of wanted to keep its reputation as the most badass country, and they did.
Yeah, because we
I
are.
mean, you got to step in. If you want to be the big dogs, you got to do something.
America, fuck yeah.
Not saying America's the best, but I mean, in
Who's
my
better?
eyes, yeah, I mean, in my eyes, there's not really any country that's too much better.
And really, what is the definition of better? Like, what are we looking? What are we looking for?
Who
in that?
defines what is the best?
Right, because maybe it's that third world country that has no laws and people are just free roaming, like free range chickens. They're just out there doing whatever they want.
If that's your thing, then that could be the best country to you.
Right, for sure.
But
I just moved my mic and it jiggled the whole table.
Yeah, I bet it made horrible noises. But anyway, jump off that topic before we get a million haters in the world that say we hate Trump.
look, I'm not saying I love Trump, but I ain't saying I hate him either. All right, that's all I'm saying.
At the end of the day, he's the president of the country I live in, and I have to support him whether I like him or not.
Exactly.
And that's what the people that are like, Trump, not my president. It's like, well, then get out if you don't like it. Like,
Yeah.
you have a choice. Being America, we have the ability, if you don't like it, to go somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, you look at all these people. A majority of them conservatives that didn't like President Obama, but you didn't hear anybody complaining or going, fighting for impeachment,
Right.
Shit like that.
There probably was behind the scenes, but
Yeah,
it wasn't like
there was
as-
probably a smaller group of people, and the people obviously cared just as much. But a lot of people, especially the older generations, they just don't care as much, man. It's
Right.
the younger people that are doing it.
the
It
boomers.
seems. The boomers.
That means something totally different now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's jump off that boomer thing there.
heard enough.
Heard enough about the boomers.
Yeah, but I saw this one girl on 4th of July was protesting on the Statue of Liberty because she does not respect this country anymore.
Did she know what the 4th of July was for?
Yeah, and even though it's what she was doing was stupid, at least she's in her eyes she's doing something about it,
And
she's not just sitting and complaining.
yeah, and like we said earlier, that's one person. That's one person up there putting out their individual beliefs. And for me, I don't care what your individual beliefs are. If I believe in it, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to be like, hey, you're out there promoting this. I believe in that. It's not like I'm going to be hating on the people that I don't believe in. You know what I mean? If somebody's like, oh, Hitler's great, I'm not going to be like, no. I'm just going to be like, oh, okay, you think that. Cool.
Exactly. Agreed.
You can't care about what other people think so much. You
I just
can't
wish
do it.
you could. I wish we could make people understand that. That's the hardest part.
But you never will.
And
It's the
there's
machine.
people. I mean, even what you're saying now, there are people out there that would totally disagree with that.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's it's so frustrating. That's why you just gotta forget about it. Just
Right.
move on.
And the people that believed in that concept are long gone. It's the counterculture. It's the counterculture of the late 60s and early 70s that were so heavily oppressed by the government that their views never got out to where they should have been. Because I feel like if the mass amount of the public really understood what their message was about, it wasn't just about drugs, alcohol, free sex, and all that stuff. It was really just about being your individual and doing what you wanted to do with your life. And most of those people from that generation are really successful now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem with there's a point where it goes too far, and now it's more about yourself instead of the overall human population, I guess, or your country. I don't think you should be forced to be drafted, but if I was drafted, I would go
I mean,
because it's not just about me.
yeah,
Right, and
exactly.
I think the majority of saving that system was, you want to live in this country, you're going to have to repay the debt eventually. And the debt I'm talking about is not financial debt. It's not like that. It's the indebtment you have to everybody else around you in a free society like this to pay that back.
Yeah, I mean, everything that you own is made by another person. It could be whoever, I don't know, whatever. But what I'm trying to say here is you're supporting people that have built the civilization around you. I mean, you have to fight for that because that's all you have.
Right. Yeah.
And without that, I mean, you just nothing.
What would you have if you didn't have that?
You can't live without, community. I'm not a communist, by the way, but
I mean, it's just a simple fact that the human species is a pack animal.
Yeah.
We are. We're omnivore pack animals.
we work together, man, and we work better together.
We have to.
That's why being split is not a very good thing
Right.
at the moment.
Right.
Yeah, and then you have capitalist and then socialist, and they say theirs is better than the other, but I think it's like you need a perfect balance of both to have the best possible outcome.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, socialism, we see it as bad and everything, but there's some things about it that sound good. Like everybody says communism is good in theory, but you put it into action, it doesn't really work.
Because of individualism.
Yeah, I mean, true.
That's why it doesn't work. And the thing about socialism is like national socialism, like Nazism, essentially, is what you have to have is a non-tyrannical leader. And to be able to form a society like that, you have to have a tyrant. You have to have it. And you can't do that in a modern system with the individuality that's out there. You just can't do it. You'll have people working under you, right under your nose, that have a completely different opinion than you, and they'll just throw the towel wherever they want to.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to vote in the next election?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the thing that, like, and people are always hating on me for this, is I'm probably going to choose not to vote. And that's just my personal, like, opinion. And people are like, oh, well, you can't complain then. It's because I'm not going to. I'm not going to complain then. I'm going to trust the system and let it happen. Because I don't feel like my political views are that complex where I deserve to be able to vote, because they're not.
Right. Well, I can see your point from that, in the end, you're going to get stuck with whoever you get stuck with, and you don't get a choice, and you just got to deal with it anyway. So, who really cares?
Right. You take what you get.
Yeah, and how many times have, like, a president directly affected your life personally?
Never. Not in my lifetime, anyway.
Like, Trump's
Not
passing,
yet.
like, all these tax cuts, and, like, they still kind of feel the same.
Everything he's doing, a lot of things that he's doing sound amazing. Oh, man, that's going to be so awesome. But does it really affect you? Not really. Your life's going to be pretty much exactly the same.
And bottom line, I feel like it affects people with a higher financial status more than it affects us, because we were pretty much bottom of the barrel, whether you want to admit it or not. We are pretty much bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
Our say is so minimal.
Status is a real thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Whether you like it or not, that's just a thing that people don't want to admit. But status
it's
is
just
real.
a natural human instinct.
It is.
It really is a tier system. There's that alpha male. Like I said with the pack animals, there is that alpha male.
That's true.
Yeah, and I'm the alpha.
Or alpha female if you're into that. Whatever. The alpha and omega. It's got to be there.
Yeah.
But like you said with the draft notice, and a lot of people are probably not going to agree with me, is I feel like women should be able to be drafted as well.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I feel like that
especially
responsibility should be equal.
If they're going for these equal rights all the time and they want to be treated equally, then they should be. In every way.
Yeah, every way possible.
If they're begging for it, then give it to them.
Absolutely. And it's not just in them begging for it and things like that. Like, I don't see it as that. I see it more as of, like, if we as a gender should be responsible to give life, potentially give our lives for something like that, to save these people at home, they should be able to do the same thing too.
Yeah, it's a life-threatening situation. Literally putting your life on the line.
For real.
Just because the government told you to.
Yeah.
But that's how it be.
It's just the way it goes around here.
And middle class is literally the bottom, below lower class. Because at least lower class, they get welfare programs and stuff to help them out. Middle class just gets screwed.
We really are the bottom of the barrel in this country. The lower middle class is the bottom of the barrel.
But without, the middle class is a very, very large portion of the working class.
It's very important for our economic system.
Yeah, without it, not everybody can be rich. It's just how it works. You're gonna have to work, and it benefits. It benefits everybody in the end. But it's not a good way. It's not a good thing sometimes. Sometimes it's benefiting people that don't deserve it, like taxes, and welfare. Some people don't deserve welfare.
Which again is an idea and concept that is really appropriate to have to help the people that actually need the help.
Yeah, that is assuming that there's no bums out there that are just gonna sit there and live off it when they don't need it. There's always gonna
be bums.
Exactly.
Always gonna be bums.
That's the thing. That's the problem.
Humans are going to take advantage. There's going to be some of them that just take advantage, and you can't really blame them.
You can't.
Because they saw the loophole and they took it.
Yeah, they're taking advantage of the government, and the government's letting it happen. And we can't really do much about it. Besides try to vote for the right person, but,
It doesn't really affect it that much, but...
Yeah.
And, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, it's coming up for sure.
I doubt socialism's ever gonna be a thing. I really do. I don't think it's. I just don't think it's gonna be popular enough.
We
to
would have to
actually-
have a very major world conflict for socialism to
Oh,
come
yeah.
back.
That's why I don't know.
Somebody would have to get assassinated. we'd have chaos on the streets for that to become a thing. But I am sick and tired of political concepts and ideals. And
Honestly.
ideas.
It's gotten to the point where like I don't even care about the news because I don't even know what's true, what's not, and I don't really care in general to pay attention.
What can you even believe anymore?
Yeah.
That's why I just look for the weirdest shit on the news I possibly can.
I like to look at both points of views. You know.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what I agree with. I like to do that sometimes. It's just
Right.
form your own opinions off of both sides. It's
Yeah.
better that way.
Just look at it and evaluate and get together and figure it out.
And don't hate on other people's opinions.
For real. It's the most important thing we can do as a society, really.
It just sucks when people hate on yours because it's like, what did I do, man? What did I do to you?
Yeah, what did I do to you? Yeah, exactly.
But do you think there should be a point where we should hate on someone's views? Like, what if they're like, I want to kill every human except me and my family?
Well, I mean, if they follow through with it, then yeah. But if they're just saying it to say it, then, I mean, freedom of speech.
As far as I'm concerned, this country has a system for that. You call the police and you go, hey, this guy's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, there's systems in place to prevent views like that, extremists that are so right or left, it is impossible to even come close to recognizing what they're trying to get you to realize about their opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, enough political. I'm not
Yeah.
here for a political debate. Boys.
I wasn't either.
I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm just
I mean,
not here
that's
for
just-
a political debate.
That's where the conversation went, man.
Yeah.
It just happens
You just
like
gotta
that.
let it flow.
Let it blow.
What is the lowest point in your life?
Lowest point in my life or Sean's life?
Everyone's life.
Well, I can tell you right now, and I'm not even going to candy coat it.
Then tell me.
Messed up kid in middle school, man.
Oh,
Messed
yeah.
up, dude. I mean, I was binge drinking every day. Like, I was just hellion.
I heard about that, man.
Hellion, dude. Anything I could get my hands on was going in my face, and I was trying to figure out where it would take me.
Why?
I don't know. It was more of just trying to find something that was different in life. Like, we were so... I blame the education system personally. I do. Because I feel like it is so rudimentary. The things you do every single day, we're creating robots. And I've eventually just got to the point where I was like, I have to do something else. And like, I didn't have a steady group of friends. And I still don't to this day. I just go through everybody. I'm kind of just okay with everyone. And it was such a low point for me because I got to the point where I couldn't control what I was doing anymore. Like, I was smoking every day, like religiously, just pounding alcohol down my face. And like that day that all that happened, when I came to school, threw up and blah 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 blah, passed out at school and all that stuff, that had been going on for months, dude. I was so bent. I was on a bender for just weeks. I mean, what other 14-year-old do you know that's done LSD, mushroom? Like, you're not supposed to do that stuff that young. You're just not supposed to. But I think it really helped me figure out where my path in life was supposed to be, if anything. And I know it seems messed up from the outside in, but I'm such a better person now after it. And
I mean, you seem pretty healthy now and stuff, so.
yeah, it's pretty good, but I definitely was not back then. I was really overweight, and it was bad. But it's important for me, at least, that happened in my life. And parents work so hard to prevent their kids from doing things like that, but that's how you learn in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to get out there and explore
Experience
the
that
world.
shit.
Yeah, to learn anything, you really do. And in that,
That's
I
a fact.
learned what bad relationships were. I learned how to deal with people. I learned how to exist in the world. Like, that was the point. Like, you never even, at that point, you don't know that the world's out there. You know what I mean? It's your world. It's just that school, those 3 people that you know. That's it. That's all you have. You get up in the morning, you go to school, you eat, you come home. That's it.
I like what you said about, school turning people into robots, because I 100% agree with that. I think that school is the same for everybody, and not in a good way necessarily.
Again, taking that individualism right out of you.
Yeah, you don't really get much of a choice. You're going through school to get built up for a good career that you want to do. but you don't get taught anything until you actually graduate and you're free and you can do what you want to do. But you waste 12 years, going through high school and all school. What do you really pick up from that you actually need specifically for your own career that you want to do?
The only thing that school has ever taught me is how to get up early in the morning.
Yeah.
And for a job, that's the only important thing you will find.
The part I like that you said was you didn't really have a friend group. And, like, looking at it now, I really don't have a best friend. Like, that one guy that you're like, he's my best friend, dude. I can tell him anything, and he won't judge me. And he can tell me anything, and I'll judge him. No, I won't judge him, but I have a bunch of friends, but I just don't have, like, that one best friend.
Yeah. And for me, at least, it was...
Like, your throat made a weird sound.
It did. I'm sorry. But it's weird because I spent so much time worrying about that there was no way it was ever going to happen to me.
That's what I think about that is, maybe, with the whole best friend thing for both of you guys, you don't really have like a tight group of friends that you stick around with. It's just, I feel like it's just kind of a choice. I mean, it's something that you just kind of, you have to choose. If there's someone that you hang out with and you want it to be that way, you're going to have to make it that way. You're going to have to just do it and hang out with them all the time.
And I'm not going to force myself to do that.
I know. But
you know what I mean?
It gets to a point where it just starts to happen every day. I mean, like with my boys and everything, that it's just how it happened. I don't even know how. It just did.
And that's a natural thing. Like I said, it's just, you have to back off. And it's just like parents, you know what I mean? They're forcing these kids to have friends. Like, your mom and dad ever force you to have a friend?
Yeah.
I know everybody's has. Like, Sean maybe not, but like me and Gabe, I know me and Gabe have. Like, I got people forced on me as a kid. My mom would make me go and hang out with people that I didn't even like.
Yeah. It's like, Mom, I have other friends at school. Okay, I don't need to be.
Right.
I don't need to go to this play date. Okay.
Right. We're like, I'm 12. I don't need a play date. Like, I can have my own friends.
The difference with me is just the fact that, like, I got to choose friends, but I chose the wrong ones. Like, my whole childhood, I did like scummy shit. For the age I was, it was just bad, man. And I have permanently scarred myself up to this point. I've just it's not good.
Yeah, and that can happen. And I mean, it happened to me.
But I mean, after doing that, I feel wiser. I feel so much better. I agree with what you said.
Exactly. That's exactly how I feel about it.
You just gotta have that experience to become a better person.
Exactly.
Or you just never have it, and you just never be a bad person.
And that's like the majority. It seems like that is the majority of people. They everything seems to go the way they plan it. And like for me, I know for me, it never happens like that. Nothing is ever that easy for me.
Agreed.
Like it just never goes the way you plan. Like I remember, I had a group of friends in Ann Arbor one time that we were gonna go to a convenience store and just pick up food, just like pick up some food, and by the end of the night, it turned into the absolute biggest rager and mailbox bashing, like, craziness. Like, the craziness is just, it just happens, and, like, you just wind up in the middle of it sometimes. And I feel so much better now knowing about all of that, about all that just scumbag shit that you can do.
Well, sometimes it's good to just let that stuff out, man.
Yeah.
That's how you get it out. You got to get it out of your system. And you just don't have to worry about it again. Get those hard party ragers out, and then you can go out and have kids and shit.
Right. And I feel like most people, like, especially like the college genre, those college parties that all those kids are going to, they've got an important thing going on right now. Stop it. You should have been doing that 10 years ago.
Yeah, agreed.
You know what I mean? You're there. Stop. Like, I don't understand the people that live their entire life that way. Because it's not healthy. That's not healthy. You're supposed to gain an experience, learn from it, move on to something better.
There's two people in life. There's the people that they know they have problems with themselves, but they're too lazy or too scared to fix it. And then there's people that look at themselves and say, you know what? I kind of suck as a person, and I want to be better. And they try to be better. They may not be better, but at least they're trying to.
Yeah, or you're stuck in a bad position. You're just like, damn, my life fucking sucks right now because, I don't have a job, whatever, all that shit. But you're never going to get anywhere if you don't just stand up one day and be like, all right, I'm fucking doing this. Walk out the door, fill in some applications right then and there on the spot. I've been in that position a lot with, like, just jumping into shit. You just got to do it, man.
And that's the thing about the people that, like, procrastinate so much. And I'm one of those people. I'm not even going to lie.
Oh,
I
same.
procrastinate so bad.
Definitely.
And I just get to the point where I just have to force myself to shut it down and just
Yes.
move on. You know what I mean?
I get to a point now where like, if I don't do something for like that's gonna make someone happy for so long, like just doing the dishes, something simple, anything, then I feel so horrible inside
There's
that
an
I
internal
just,
guilt.
yeah,
that comes along with
exactly.
that.
I get so guilty. I feel so guilty for not doing simple tasks that I know people don't want to do, so I just do it for them because I just get it over with, and they're a lot happier, and then I don't have to worry about them being upset with me.
Right. And the first experience that I think I really had with that was when I started working in a shop, because I'm a diesel technician. And I worked at a shop with a group of guys that I liked, and there was one there that I really didn't like. And I decided one day that I was just going to buck up and have a conversation with them and be like, what's going on here? Like, what can we do to fix this? And 90% of people won't do that. Most people are just going to let it happen to them and just feel shitty all the time. And that comes from that procrastination of just accepting that that's what it's like. And it doesn't always have to be like that.
Yeah, I actually 100% agree with, just because from work and stuff, you just gain experience. I feel like work is really helpful, like at a young age like this, because you gain those experiences where you're just so nervous to do something like, oh, I've never done this before, and they want me to do this task that I don't know anything about. You just go and do it, and you're bad at it, and it sucks. But they come out and they're like, all right, and then they show you how to actually do it or whatever, and it works out. You just gotta do things, man. You just gotta do it. Jump into life.
And that
Do
90% of the
things.
population that will just accept it are the 90% that are going to hide that consistent. Like, they're going to be consistently trash, and they're going to hide it from everybody and just skate by. They're floaters. They're floaters.
Yeah, exactly. I know exactly the kind of thing you're talking about.
Because what diesel experience did I have when I went into that shop? Big fat zero. I had worked on a couple cars. I like old cars. Like, I didn't have any experience in the diesel field. And by the time I walked out of there, I felt pretty confident that I knew most things.
Yeah, and like where I was working, we had to work with RVs and stuff. You know, it was at Larry's RV, shout out.
Oh yeah,
RV. But there's a lot of things there that if you fuck it up, then it's like almost irreversible. Like,
right.
And I'm sure you know the exact same
Oh, absolutely.
thing. But so I had to be careful, and I was very nervous to do a lot of these things. I don't want to fuck something up because this is expensive ass shit. But I did it, and it works. And they're like, oh yeah, that's a good job. Wow, thanks. You just jump into it, and you actually genuinely try with the amount of knowledge that you do have. Even if you don't have much, use any knowledge that you can to complete a task.
Right. And you don't have to have, like, people think that they need to go to college and gain this amount of exorbitant knowledge that you need to succeed. And you don't need all of that to be successful. You just have to get out there and do it. Like, we don't need a bachelor's. You don't need a bachelor's degree for psychology. Talk to some people and learn it. You don't need people explaining to you when people feel sad and mad.
Yeah.
You don't need that. And no offense to anybody who has a psychology degree, okay? There are people out there that understand people's minds way better than I do, but I just feel like there are so many unnecessary things that are taught to you that you don't need to know. Like this personal finance class that me and Sean are taking right now. I understand how a credit card works, okay? I don't need
I don't know. I feel like that class is honestly more helpful than a lot of
a lot of them. But the way it's structured, that's what I'm talking about with standardized education, with that online stuff that we're doing right now.
The thing is, like, you look at English classes, you know.
Right.
The only reason that you have to take English classes is because they're teaching you shit that you need to know to take a test and to complete the test. It's not or to fill out a resume or whatever to get a job. That's the only reason you're learning that shit. And so you can fill out a fucking resume and applicate whatever, in a professional,
professional setting.
Yeah, but in reality, when else are you ever going to need to use that writing shit besides getting a job or whatever, or during a job? Other than that, you're not really going to ever need it, Or if you're doing, you're a diesel mechanic, when are you going to fucking need that?
True.
You're going to fill out the application. That's the only time you're going to write a fucking word.
You just reminded me of something great about that job. I never once filled out an application. He never once looked at my resume. He never once even asked for it. It was never even a concept. He literally, the first day I showed up there, I walked in, I was like, I would like a job doing basic service work. And he said, forget that shit. He's like, get out there and pull that head off that 7.3 and see if you can do it. And I was like, all right, bet. And that when I got it done, he was like, well, you fucked it up pretty good, but you got it off. You know what I mean? Like, that's the stuff that you have to do to get your foot in the door. And never looking at that resume, knowing what my applied knowledge was, and knowing what I could do, that's what employers look for.
Yeah.
You could be the most talented guy ever, but if you only give half effort, it doesn't matter. I think employers look for, I wouldn't know, but I think they look for the person and what kind of person are you, and not how much experience do you have.
Yeah, especially now, it's more common than it used to be.
The few interviews that I've gone to, they ask you very personal questions like, "Oh, what do you do in your free time?" Stuff like that.
Right. They just want to know what motivations you have.
Yeah, they want to know what kind of person you are, and they don't necessarily care about your work ethic. They want to know about your personal ethic because that's the skills that are going to transfer over to work.
Right. I don't know. Gabe, have you ever had any experience like that about resumes and getting a job or anything like that?
Yeah, I work at Dollar General right now, actually. And, dude, I don't know what I'm doing still, but I just do it.
Right.
And they haven't said anything, so...
That's how you do it, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Good analogy. With this car that I'm driving, and being a manual, this is the same thing, man. I had so many questions when I started driving it, and I just had to do it. That's what my dad told me. He's just like,
you gotta get in it.
Just go drive it, man. I'm like, okay. And that's how you learn. You just teach yourself sometimes, man.
You can Google something and watch a bunch of videos all you want, but at the end of the day, you just got to go do it.
You can sit there for 10,000 hours watching YouTube videos on how to play guitar like a master pro, and then you pick up a guitar and you're terrible.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, you just have to do things, man.
For sure.
That's why I like that Traveler's Gift book. It's like those things of wisdom at the end. They're like, just go do it.
Yeah, I love that book.
Yeah.
That
really
book has like a lot of good messages.
It surprised me how much I actually did enjoy that book.
I like the Anne Frank part because she talks about happiness and
how relative it is to your situation,
and how she was in the worst position ever.
Absolutely.
But she said that she just woke up in the morning and just told herself that I'm gonna be happy today, and it worked. And that I've done that, and it works for me, man. It works.
It is really a conscious decision.
It is. You have to make yourself. You have to tell yourself, I am happy, and you will be happy.
And I feel like there's a lot of people in the world that are just naturally bitter people.
Just negative.
And I'm not even gonna lie. I'm probably one of those people that is just naturally a bitter person.
I used to be. Like in middle school, I was a huge pessimist and just always negative. And I'm just changing. Right. Because what's the point of complaining? It does nothing.
Exactly.
At least optimism gives you hope. Even if it's bad hope, at least you have hope.
Hope is one of those words that is also relative. I mean, you can hope for something, or you can actually apply the effort and still hope for it. You know?
Well, faith is a good thing in
What?
Faith is a good thing.
Faith is good.
Just in general, it's a good thing.
It is, but here's an example. Being an entrepreneur or whatever, you just if you're gonna make something like your own product with your own skills, and you obviously don't know how well it's gonna do, so you just kind of gotta just jump into it, like I said.
Yeah.
And you just throw your product out there. I know this guy that carves these anniversary gifts out of wood logs, and he's making bank off that shit, man. I mean, just off such a simple thing.
And he probably likes doing it.
And he did. But once you start doing it every day, obviously it's not going to be the best.
Yeah, you can't. That's another thing that's really important.
Turning something that is cheap and almost a waste product into something that you can sell is an amazing thing, and that takes faith, man.
Yeah, for sure. To take something that somebody threw away, turn it around, and they'll buy it back. That's crazy.
A log that somebody would just toss into a fire. He's cutting them into sections and just drilling them out, whatever, and just making something out of it that people are gonna enjoy.
And that's just like life, man. You can take it for nothing, or you can take it for everything possible.
You can turn it into something better.
For sure.
Yeah, life is what you make it.
Exactly.
You can go to work, sit at home every day, and that's your life. Or you could just go out, do as much as you can, be better, and that's your life.
Better.
Yeah, just be better.
You just go out and you just do the podcast.
Yeah, just do it.
You just sit down.
Just do it. If you're thinking about it, just do it.
You know what? Just fucking do it. If you want to go to a concert, and it just happens to be on the same night as something important, you might as well do both. Because fuck it.
Yeah.
Why not?
I'm glad to be here. You know.
Same.
Means a lot.
Me too. I mean,
Sure it does.
it meant a
Gabe.
lot to me that you guys decided to bring me on this. Because
Yeah, we're glad to have you, Dylan.
I'm pretty. I like to conversate about things just to understand what more people around me think, because I don't talk to you guys on a daily basis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna. I sit at Gabe's lunch table, you know, but that's about it. You know what I
That's
mean?
what's so great about this.
You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
about it.
We do stupid things at lunch, and that's all we do, pretty
That's
much.
it.
That's what's so great about this is we can have people on that we've talked to before, but we've never really talked to, and we can learn a thing or two, and so can
Right.
everybody else just listening. It's great.
Yeah. I remember a couple of weeks ago, you're like, I cannot respect you. If you say you're going to do something, then you don't do it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like if somebody is like, and mine was more of like on a negative basis. Like if somebody says they're gonna beat the holy hell out of me, and they don't do it, I lose some respect for that person, because I'm one of those people that say, if I'm gonna come and do something for you, or I'm gonna come and do something to you,
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
Well, it all depends on on the situation, obviously. But you know, people gotta mean that shit for it to be real.
If you're
you
gonna
know?
say it, you better mean it.
Yeah, and
That's
sometimes
my opinion.
Sometimes people
Same.
just say like, "Oh, I'm gonna kick your ass." You know, it's a joke. Obviously.
Yeah, and obviously that's okay with me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I get that, but if I'm actually in a negative position against somebody and they're like, "I'm going to beat the shit out of you,"
No,
and-
that pisses me off too, man. I've gotten threats.
For
Oh,
sure.
well, let's meet up in the bathroom. Let's fight in the bathroom. All right, let's do it. Next day, I come to school and nothing happens.
nothing happens.
Nothing.
Nothing ever does.
Nothing will. I mean, who cares if it does? I mean, honestly, like certain things like that with fights and stuff, I just don't care, man. Like,
Right.
just say what you're gonna say. If you're gonna do it, then do it and get it over with. Try me.
Try me, right? And it infuriates me to no end when people are like, "Okay, we're gonna do this and this on this date," and then like the day of, they're like, "No, forget it, man." Like that pains me, especially when people are like late. People that are late annoy me to no end. I'm sorry, but I might go on a
says
spiel
the guy
about
that
this.
shows up late to work every day.
I don't actually.
Just
Okay,
messing.
I don't. But
I don't know a thing about what Dylan's work life is. But
I'm currently unemployed because I was smart with my money and decided that I'm going to take some time off.
well, I'm not gonna lie. I am also technically currently unemployed, trying to make my way through. But I'm not going back to fast food. That's all I'm saying.
What-
I got enough money to keep me going
And
for
that
now.
was
but-
my thing. Is I was never gonna work in fast food. I was gonna learn a trade and I was gonna work a trade job. I was never gonna do that.
It's hard to say that though. Sometimes, you know, I thought that too until I needed a job and.
Right, and that's another thing about the motivation that we talked about. It's like you have to do that stuff.
Well,
you
and
have to get out there and
If
do
you
it.
want things, you know, if you want a car and you don't have parents to pay for it for you, then you got to go out and pay for it for yourself, man.
That also irritates the holy piss out of me.
Oh yeah.
Parents that buy everything for their
Yeah.
children and give them money religiously.
Yeah. Trust me, I've yeah. I don't know if we should dabble in this because there's people that I.
Oh
would
yeah, those
specifically
people are everywhere, and you know what? I don't disrespect you guys.
I mean, look, if you have it and your parents are buying everything for you, and I mean, why not enjoy it, right? I mean, obviously, but at the same time, doesn't mean I have to like it. I mean, it's,
Right.
damn.
That's just not my style. That's just not me.
It's not really teaching you anything when your parents are buying it for you.
Yeah.
You need to do it yourself to learn.
And at the end of the day, if you are one of those people and that offends you, that's because you have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Right. You're one of those people if that
Yeah.
offends you.
Exactly.
Or because a real person that is like that, they wouldn't care. They wouldn't get offended because they're like, yeah, that's how it is, and I don't mind it. It's nice. But if it offends them, it's because deep down they don't like it either.
Or I mean, if their parents buy them a car and they got to pay for the gas and stuff, they got to pay for insurance. That's okay. You know, as long as they're paying for
It's
something.
still teaching you something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Exactly.
still teaching you something.
You're still getting something out of it.
And I'm not gonna lie, I had a vehicle given to me.
Yeah.
That was an older vehicle in my family, and I didn't respect it. And I beat the holy piss out of it, and I ruined it, and I wrecked it, and I totaled it.
And then you had to buy your own, and,
And I
you-
had to-
your,
yeah, and
your
I had to-
mindset changed.
Completely, man. You respect stuff so much better when you work for it. When you work for the stuff you have, you'll have such a deeper understanding of how important that stuff is.
Yeah.
I think happiness and gratitude are like two of the most important things you need to have if you want to have a successful or good, happy life.
You got to earn those things, though.
Yeah.
For sure. Respect. That's one of my things. Is I have a really big respect complex to me. Like I want those people of power of people that I need respect from,
I
I'm gonna
agree.
give them that utmost.
I want people to show me equal respect. Too.
Equal respect, and
And-
that's big. That's huge.
That's one thing that is very frustrating because a lot of people that are older than me and stuff, they like to think that they deserve more because like my parents and stuff. I can understand, they definitely deserve respect, but I think I deserve a damn near equal amount. I'm an equal person.
Yeah,
I'm a human being.
I'm a human being. And that was my big thing with the guy that I was having problems with at work that I was telling you about. Was I told him, I was like, what is the deal here? Because I'm always super respectful. This guy lit me on fire one time. Okay, we're not talking about
Like
some
an actual
yeah,
fire.
like lit me on fire. Sprayed brake clean on the floor, lit it with a torch, sprayed it onto my
Damn.
boot, crossed the line between the pile on the floor, burning in my boot, and lit me on fire while I was working. Like, that's not okay. Like
Yeah.
when you get to a point, and it was funny. Okay, it's a brake clean fire; it's gonna go away. But
Right.
what if? I'm covered in motor oil. What if? Like, what if I just suddenly burned to death? Like it. You gotta respect people more than that to do stuff
Well,
like that.
I also especially you see this a lot at school. People that are disrespectful for absolutely no reason, just hate everybody, just disrespect everybody, or teachers or whatever, because they blame teachers for what the government has forced the teachers to do, or the principal or whatever, making these rules. Teachers have to enforce these rules because it's their job. They have to. You don't have a choice. You have to listen to that teacher, and if you don't, then that's your fault. Really.
Yeah, that's your fault.
You just gotta show respect to people. Some people are assholes, and there are a lot of asshole teachers, but what are you gonna do about it? They're enforcing the rules, and you have to listen because you're not the rule enforcer.
And I can be a real big asshole sometimes. Like I'm not gonna lie. I'm talking in class and I'm dinking around sometimes. But you know what? When that teacher's like, "Hey, yo, shut the fuck up," I'm gonna shut the fuck up so they
Yeah.
can do their job.
Yeah.
I see that a lot too. Teachers that, like kids that are just relentless. They just nonstop, just continuously go.
Yeah. Me and Sean share an English class where that is self-evident.
Yeah.
And the thing is about that English class, it is the best class.
Oh, ample opportunity to have a great time.
Yeah, and it's just it's a blessing of a class where you can do whatever you want, work on your own time and do all that, but people are not respecting that.
So disrespectful of that system, and she's gonna get rid of it. She's gonna
Exactly.
get rid of that.
That's why teachers don't have that system, because kids don't respect it.
You want more freedom. You want more time. You want to be able to do that stuff. You've got to put in that
You gotta
respect
just
and
do
that
it, man.
effort. You've got to do it. You've got to.
It's like it's just taking advantage of an opportunity that is
Opportunity
given
to
to
be
you.
great,
It's human nature.
It is.
for sure. To just
People-
take advantage of everything.
People care more about themselves than others, and that's just always how it's going to be.
That's built into us, man.
Yeah, you hear things on the news about people dying. Oh, a bus accident killed 13 people today.
Whoopsie.
Oh, well, that sucks. Oh.
Whoopsie daisies.
Let me
But
just-
if you were on that bus, holy hell, it'd
And
be
you-
a world crisis.
Exactly. You just move on with your life. You hear things like that. Yeah, it sucks, but what are you going to do?
Yeah.
I'm no hypocrite. I don't care about people. I'm gonna admit it. Nobody
Same.
cares about me. If I died right now, there's people in every other state, wherever, anywhere. They're not even gonna know who I am at all.
You're in my will, man, and I don't even know you. like on a deep enough level to put you in my will. I don't know you, but you are.
Well, we know each other pretty good for. If you look at the wide scale, compared to people that I don't know, all the
Right.
billions of people.
Right.
I mean,
7.3
It's honestly
billion people I don't know.
it's an insanely rare chance that we know each other. Actually,
Yeah.
you look at it.
Yeah.
It's an insanely rare chance that I know anybody, to be
It's
honest.
insanely rare that we're even alive.
Yeah.
It is.
It is.
It's a miracle.
It's all a chance. Yeah, it's all just like the slightest chance that it just happens.
So
It's just like if you never came from Indiana.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be sitting here right now. You know what I mean? There's so many
That's
variables.
That's kind of why it seems like life is laid out for you, and it's all in a specific way. Like I was meant to be here right now, and I was meant to be talking to Dylan and Gabe and have my own little podcast show with them. Anyway, but
Their show, not mine.
It's a hard concept to think about. Like I want it to be true. I want to believe it's true that everything is laid out and set, and we follow a timeline or whatever.
Oh,
but
it's definitely not.
I
though.
really don't know, man.
Because right now, if I wanted to, I could get up, beat the shit out of you, steal your car,
That
and
might-
drive to Texas, and
that-
it could be. It could happen. It
But
could happen.
That might be what you were meant to do.
You never know.
You never know.
Maybe that was in the books written down for Dylan to do.
But
to
I'm
beat
not-
the fucking shit out of me.
But I'm not gonna do it.
No, that was part of the will. That's part of the destiny.
Then maybe it wasn't part of the destiny. That
What
you're
if
not
I
supposed
did?
to.
It was destiny for you to say that over and over.
Over and over.
I mean, what if
I'll
you
say it again.
What if you did? I mean, it doesn't. If you do it, then it was laid out for you. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like everything that happens, everything that you do, could. I'm not saying I believe that. I'm just saying it could.
I feel like it's more of like an alternate timeline type thing. Like
Each action as we go on directly affects how the continuum is going to flow.
The butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah. I mean, I think that's more realistic. You make a choice, and it could affect you big in the long run. You know, you have a time machine, you go back in time, kill Hitler, and everything's different. I mean, a lot of things can change, man. If one little tiny detail doesn't happen, a lot of things could be totally different.
And about the time machine thing, people are always like, hey, wouldn't they have already come back in time and told us? Well, no. What if we're not there yet? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we haven't gotten there yet to get to that point, there's no way we would have already gotten back to this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's such
We're in an alternate timeline
it's
right
just
now where
such an
that hasn't
interesting
happened
thing.
yet.
Time is a very interesting thing. Like, talk about time travel. It's just like, we're not there yet, but are we not? Because, I mean, we are just past. We are the past. So there could be future that have already happened, and they're coming back and visiting us, and our future selves can come back and see us, and we already could be at that point. What is present time? If there's time travel, every time is present time to
Now,
the people that are
and
living
it's
in those
gone.
times.
Yeah, it's now, and now it's gone, and it's now. And
There
now
isn't
it's
really
gone.
no
Yeah.
such thing as present time.
No.
But
Absolutely not, because it's a steady moving type thing. And time is really just a construct.
it just
that the
goes.
humans have invented. It's not a real thing. It's not a real thing. It's not.
Yeah. It's not, but it's just a label we have on the
Progression.
yeah
is
the,
what I
the
like to call
progression of
universe,
mankind.
Universe. More
Well,
broad. I look at it
well,
even
if you're looking
broader
at
than humans.
I mean, yeah, I mean the universe progresses, but we're progressing so very slowly on such a small scale compared to everything else
Right.
in the whole universe.
Right.
And a perfect example that humans just made time is these like stupid daylight savings.
Yeah,
and,
we
like,
just
stuff like that.
We just flip the. If it's time is such a set concept, why am I gaining and losing an hour of sleep?
Yeah.
That's time travel, boys. That's what that is. Like, if we just randomly decided it was yesterday and we forgot today existed, that's time travel, boys.
I mean, yeah. I could call it 1984 right now, and I mean,
I just had that conversation today, actually. Like, what if the time scale that we have invented is actually off? Like, let's say that it's not actually 2019 AD right now. It's like actually only 1984 AD. So we're in 1984 right now, and we don't even know it. Like, we are so stupid to believe that we actually have come up with a system to scale all this, because we haven't. We're just making shit up as we go.
well, I mean that's how everything is. Like all measurements are just man-made measurements that we
made
just
up
use to,
shit.
Yeah, and people argue over the metric system and the other system.
The standard system.
It's
the
probably-
standard system, and
it's-
I mean, yeah, I mean, it
Imperial.
doesn't really matter what you use. You could make your own goddamn system for
You
all
could.
I care.
It's 24-inch dicks. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
24 of my pinky toe lengths.
Yeah, it doesn't fucking matter.
You know how funny that'd be if like the guy who started time and like the years system, like 5 years later, he's like, he just realized he messed up. He's like, crap, I was 1 year off.
Fuck. You know what I mean? And there's actually evidence that, like, the AD system, like, Jesus Christ, if you believe in that, actually died in, like, 4 AD. So technically, it's only, like, 20... I'm not good at math. 15 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets complicated because like BC is like before Christ, so
Right.
if you think right when Christ was born, that's AD 1 or 0. But
That's
I don't
the
think.
start of AD.
Yeah, but I don't think that's how it works. And it's like really, it gets really weird.
It gets really complex.
Wait. So, okay, before Christ. So the year he was born, it turned into 80, right?
No, because
no, it's
AD
after
stands for
death.
after death. So there's like 30 years.
There's
or
34 years in
just
there,
gone.
give or take a couple years that are just gone.
So confusing.
So it's either that's gone or the person who made that system screwed up.
yeah.
And I think that we
That's
are
pretty
so
funny.
silly to scale time in that system because it's not correct. Okay, it's just not. In 1794, how do we know when that was? We don't know. We don't know.
Well,
when
I mean, who
that
can
was.
say anything in the past even happened at all?
Exactly.
Like, we could totally be
Ex-
brainwashed, and all this shit
Absolutely.
they're telling us at school is just totally fake.
Absolutely.
All this history is just made up.
And I'm sure there's different parallels because nobody's going to know about this conversation in 200 years. There's not going to be a digital record of this. Nobody's ever going to know this happened. How many things do we not know happened?
And well, that's another thing. Like, you look at the whole universe as a whole, and there's probably other life. There's gotta be other life, man.
No, there is, man.
There has to be.
Okay, there is.
And you look at us compared to the universe, compared to whatever else, whatever other life is out there, and you look at, you just we're just nothing really. I mean, we're not even thought of, but we don't think about them either.
Dust
but
and
we're
wind,
just
man.
we're our own little,
Ball.
solemn ball where we just sit, and the only thoughts that we have are collected within ourselves.
We're not even dust. We're like a particle of the dust.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. We're just a particle in the edge of the
We're
dust,
like an
man.
atom. Like, we're literally nothing.
Nothing. So minuscule.
We're not even a part of the atom. We're smaller than that.
Yeah. I mean, on an infinite scale, yeah.
I'm a neutron, right? Rolling around a singular
just-
atom of a molecule of dust.
We're just forgotten about in the universe. So is everything else, though.
For sure.
I mean, everything's just nothing.
If we wanted to, we could record a new podcast and say all these crazy stuff that's happened and act like it's real. And then someone like 10 years, not 10 years, or like 100 years later finds it. And they're like, dude, I didn't know all this stuff happened back then. And they wouldn't even know.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about historical records is we look at these documents that individuals wrote, individual accounts of an event that occurred, and we take that so literally. Like as far as I'm concerned, in that is like the only example I can think of right now is the documentation of the sinking of the Titanic. Like, the eyewitness accounts are the only evidence that we have. How do we know what actually happened?
Right.
You're never gonna know.
And there's a movie.
Like, if I was the guy...
and the Steven Spielberg movie.
No, but if I went and, like... I mean, I could have been the guy to write the history books, and I could have thrown in any fucking details I wanted. Yeah, Ben Franklin was 7 feet tall. And
Yeah, and nobody's ever gonna fucking know.
like, you're gonna be like, oh, this is a history book. It has to be right, so I believe it.
Right, and you're not gonna know unless you find the old fucker, dig his grave up, measure the bones, figure it out. And even then, there's
Exactly.
still some variables.
Like, did Ben Franklin really discover electricity?
No.
Or did somebody else discover it? He took credit. You know, he could have
Yeah.
he could have just taken credit. for
Some
it.
dude in the Amazon in 1400 got struck by lightning and really discovered it. Okay, let me tell you, it
I'm
happened
sure
somewhere
plenty
else.
of people got struck by lightning.
It happened somewhere else. Like we're talking about, and the evidence that I've seen of electricity being used in other applications prior to Franklin was like Rome in 1100. There were systems that were found with wine with barrels in it with 2 metal rods in it that were used as batteries for electrical power. There's actually an article and evidence that was the thing that happened. Can we actually figure that out? No. It could have literally just been like a carbonation effect. Like
can-
they could have been, we don't know what they
You
were
can
doing.
use energy out of like citric acid and shit to
Yeah, absolutely. A potato.
yeah,
could charge your
potatoes,
phone.
lemons. I've seen it all, man. And they just turn them into giant batteries.
Anything with
Weird.
acid in it can be a battery.
Yeah.
There could have been people before the Romans that had electricity.
Yeah.
We wouldn't even know.
Yeah, there could have been There could have been a large human civilization before the dinosaurs, like before anything, but that we just billions of years ago that we just never have known about because in all that time it's just been, decaying away, gone, and there's no evidence left.
Right. And on that, I just want to ask you a question. How do you feel? Do you feel evolution of the humans is a thing?
Yes.
How so?
Well, I think evolution is always a thing happening all the time on a smaller scale than you think, but with people specifically, I mean, we've evolved from 1900 to now in physical ways that we can. I mean, you could see in height differences, weight, size, all that shit. You can look back and the people back in 1900 and 1800, whatever, they were a lot smaller, man. You look at their shoes and they're tiny little kid shoes. And you look back, it's like, well, how, man? Crazy, man.
Yeah, I don't think the evolution that we came from monkeys is true, but I definitely think, like, if you look at a football player in the NFL now compared to the one in, like, 1940, he's way more athletic.
Yeah.
The average football player is way more athletic than they were 100 years ago.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But, I mean, they could probably wreck them, man.
If you ever watch, like, film from, like, an old sport,
Oh, yeah,
it's
they're
so
crazy.
It's
They
so
even- I don't-
uncoordinated. It's so bad.
Crazy.
they had
uncoordinated.
like way less pads and stuff too.
Yeah, they had, like, a leather
But
helmet.
if you watch like 1920s football, like
Yeah.
that ain't football. I could go out there and play that. Like I could be a professional football player.
Yeah,
in
that's like
1920.
kid football.
Yeah,
man.
I could be a professional football player in 1920. But I feel like it's more of like a competition thing.
Like teams wanted to get better, so they kept finding
Yeah.
more athletes, and
And then
finding
that-
more athletes, and finding more.
But the whole
athletes.
thing with evolution, I mean, that happens all the time, everywhere, just because you have to adapt to your environment. I mean, the people that live in Alaska or whatever, they're used to the cold. They've gotten their bodies have gotten used to it. They have kids, and their kids are used to it. But it's someone from Africa, you know, they're in the blistering heat all day. You bring them up to northern Canada, and what are they gonna do, man? They're not gonna be able to
Nothing.
survive, barely.
Nothing.
Just
They're
how
gonna
it
be
is.
dead.
They're gonna probably die. I mean,
Yeah, and that goes along with another thing that I was thinking about is like human exploration of this planet. Like
there's so much.
up until recently, we didn't even know about a lot of things happening here, and we think we're so advanced, and the ocean is a mystery.
There's so much land that's still unexplored.
Oh,
everywhere.
absolutely. There's got to be systems of islands that are still undiscovered. There's got to be.
A great example is Australia, because there's so much land there that, like, the whole outback and all that.
That's some weird shit.
it's
out
just
there, though.
totally just never even touched.
Absolutely, and the animals that are conceived there are ridiculous. Have you seen like the spiders and shit that
man,
come
they
out
got
of there?
some crazy shit.
They got crazy shit going on over there.
If you just go to Google Earth, you know, right now, and you just zoom in on
A piece
Australia.
of land in
and
Australia.
You look at the cities or whatever, and they're all bordering the
ocean.
Yeah, exactly. Then you move the camera to the center, and there's nothing.
There's nothing there,
Miles
man.
and miles.
There's
and
nothing
miles.
there.
There's nothing at all.
Yeah, and it's just unclaimed, untouched land. You don't know what's under it either.
But if you go there and you say, "Oh man, look at all this free land. I could live wherever," you're probably gonna die. That's
Absolutely.
why people don't live there.
Exactly.
There's probably no water. That's probably the whole reason. I mean, you got to be close to water.
Water.
You got to have
Man.
water to survive, man.
Humans, man.
And,
Water.
And I'm sure it rains on once in a blue moon. So,
What does that expression even mean?
well, blue moons are a real thing, and they're very rare. I don't know how often they are. I don't know the science behind it.
You know what? I'm glad you said that because our second sponsor is Blue Moon Beer.
Blue Moon.
Speaking of moons,
Taste the
la-
rainbow.
last night,
Wrong company.
last
Oh,
night,
that was Skittles.
November 12th, right? There
And
was
then
a.
Coke.
Did you guys see the moon last night?
Actually, I didn't because I was sleeping.
Before it got too
The
high
moon
in the
doesn't
sky.
come out until like 11:30 at night now.
No, it was like 6 last night, and the moon was orange, like
Really?
bright orange, like right on the top of the horizon, right above the trees, bright orange. It was awesome. I got a good picture of it.
I'm gonna be honest. I missed my daily moon inspection last night.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest with you, I did too. I'm always checking for the man in the
I-
moon to be doing something else.
I love the moon, man, and there's a lot of interesting things that happen with it, man. It was huge last night in orange. It was awesome. Harvest moon is what they
But
call it.
isn't that weird how the orbit distance changes and the moon gets smaller and bigger?
It's freaky, man.
Isn't that
It's
weird?
kind of freaky, but
Because it doesn't actually
It's
get
very
smaller and bigger,
interesting.
It just gets closer and farther away. But
Right.
obviously, you understand the opposite.
it just grows and shrinks.
Optical impression that I'm trying to
Look at the moon, man.
look at.
Yeah.
It. Look at it out there.
Wow. Right
Wow.
outside,
Right outside.
where we can see it.
Right now.
When I was young, I actually thought the moon was a man, or it was like made of cheese or something.
I know, man.
Isn't it weird how
The
kids
man on
just
the
think
moon.
that stuff?
Yeah.
Man?
The man on the moon, like I thought there was a man like living on the moon, but it was actually just a face that people see in the moon,
Yeah.
and I don't really see it, to be honest.
Do you have any of those concepts as a child that you believe that are now so ridiculous? Because I definitely do.
I definitely did, but I can't really remember any.
Oh, I
honestly.
remember.
I don't want to
to
get inappropriate, but when I was like in kindergarten, a girl told me that girls pee sitting down, and that blew my mind. So I thought
it messed me up,
I
man.
thought they pooed standing up.
Oh, you just thought it was inverse.
Yeah, I thought they had like the same body parts as men. So I'm like, okay, so they poo out of their
Front.
That's an interesting
They're-
thought.
Out of their front. Yeah, yeah. Like you don't know though. Like that.
Yeah.
That's is part of exploring the world and figuring that stuff out.
That's
you don't
why
know.
it's bad to lie to your kids about certain things, because they're not going to grasp that concept, and they're going to be like, you know, our age or whatever, talking to people in this conversation, and they're going to try to correct somebody, and they're going to be
And the
completely
opinion's
wrong.
gonna be fucked.
And they're going to be like, oh shit.
What was that one football movie with Adam Sandler in it?
the water boy.
Yeah, where he's like, my mama said. That's like
Oh,
that's what we're
yeah.
talking about here. We're talking about my mama
Exactly.
said alligators are mad because they got all them teeth and no one to brush them.
Yeah, when he was in like the college
Yeah.
class. Yeah, that was fun.
Shut up, Colonel Sanders.
Yeah. Speaking of Colonel Sanders, there was a guy dressed up like him for Halloween, and he was spot on, man. It was really
Did you ask
nice.
him for chicken?
Or is that racist?
No, but he was calling me out because I didn't really have much of a costume. I just had like a, what do you call them? Like a mask.
Mm-hmm.
You still dress up for Halloween?
Not really.
It's kind of fucked.
I literally just threw on some random clothes, man.
Well, aren't you gonna be the Joker or something?
Dude, you know, so what happened with that was I decided that this was like my last Halloween. I was going to turn 18. I was like, this is the last time I'm going to do
That's
anything.
exactly what I thought.
So I'm going to go all out with it. And then when I went to the Halloween store to start building that, I finally figured out with a number, okay, of what it was going to cost for me to do this for one day. $210, dude, for me to just dress up like this moth for one day.
I can make it cheaper.
Yeah, I bet you could. And my brain just went, no, like, that's not going to happen.
You told everyone something. You didn't do it. I have no respect for you.
Yeah.
Accepted.
No,
Because you're right, I didn't do it. But at least I tried.
I was just kidding, but
Well, sometimes you just can't.
There was effort
Yeah.
there, though. That's the difference. There was effort. I tried.
Sometimes it's just impossible. To
It just
live up
doesn't work
to.
out sometimes.
Exactly.
So I think we talked about some pretty good concepts there. I think that we covered a lot.
Had some good conversations about some really important stuff.
And some less important stuff, but that's just how it went.
Yeah, it was a good talk today, Dylan. It was good to have you.
Appreciate it.
you got anything to plug?
Any final
Share my knowledge.
Any words of wisdom?
comments?
No, I'm good. I think we had a good talk and
Well,
discovered
all
a
right.
lot about our personal opinions and lives and good stuff.
All right. Well, it looks like this episode is coming to an end.
I'm Gabe Lewis. Remember, every Friday, new episode. Look out for it.
Appreciate it.
And I'll be looking out for it, too.
Leave a like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.